Hey, welcome back.
To Make It Happen Monday. Well, first, thank you for the great response. Holy cow.
Oh, yeah, man.
We left off with you having the 3 channels, and you were doing your music full time.
Right. So if you haven't seen part 1, go back, check it out. I guess I was probably about 41 and I got divorced.
Right.
I lived on the west side of San Antonio. And
I lived in Bishop.
Right.
I had a career before I met this guy.
But I took her away from all that. My name is Charlie.
Charlie's Angels.
There was a lake close to where I lived called Lake Medina. I'll sell the house and I'm just going to sit out there in a little house and just think for a while. My ex-wife kind of ran that jewelry store. I didn't know how to run it by myself, nor did I want to. So I was like, well, what am I going to do, man? So what do I know? Well, I knew music. I called up a friend. We started a duo and became the house band for Pat O'Brien's on the Riverwalk. And 3-4 nights a week, playing Louisiana music, playing all over San Antonio.
Tapatio Springs.
I was playing drums and singing lead.
That's what I'm talking about on a Tuesday night at Pat O'Brien's.
A lot of late nights, a lot of 1-2 o'clock in the morning.
So still 30 miles out, it's not full time.
30 miles out is still just once a month episode when I can fish and film and edit. Then I decided to go on Match.com and look around. That's where I ran into this one.
Yeah. I didn't want to do Match.com, but a friend made me. Thank you.
She had a picture of her with a black drum, shotgun, 4-wheeler, shark.
I didn't want to be on there so bad. I was like, look, this is going to fail. I'm going to put up all of my pictures of me doing what I like. Stuff. It's never the... you're all muddy from head to toe.
And I loved it. It was almost love at first sight. Hey man, Match.com works, man.
It does.
So one of our first dates, she asked me...
It actually was an awful date.
It wasn't that bad.
It was.
She asked me, do you want to go fishing? And I was like, a woman had in my entire life had never asked me if I wanted to go fishing. So I said, yeah. And we went and she put shrimp in her pocket and I was in love forever. Yeah, she asked me some crazy questions. She said, do I use ribbon fish to troll for kinks? And I said, yeah. Never heard that come out of a woman's mouth either. We were talking about Kobe at the rigs, and she said, if you bang on the boat, they're attracted to sound. Yeah, I know that, but how do you know that?
There was a lot in common.
I was mesmerized, man. We both love Joe Dirt.
Oh, yeah, Joe Dirt was the
that was a binding force.
Connector.
But I tell you what, being around somebody who likes the same stuff is easy.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
This point,
we were talking online. We decided I was living in Corpus, he was living in San Antonio, but I signed up for Match in San Antonio because I was relocating back to our corporate headquarters. In my opinion, the date was not that great.
I drove her out to Lake Hills by Lake Medina, show her how close the lake was to town and how pretty it was back in the hills.
Gorgeous.
I thought that was a good date. I guess it was a little squirrely,
for a girl,
awkward.
It was something connected. He found me a cabin up there on the lake because I had to relocate for work. And he sent me all the pictures. I had no idea Lake Medina was even there. I would
come out
never
here and live
been
on the
there.
lake, man.
Yeah. So I moved out there, and we lived just down the street from each other. You lived up on a hill, and I lived in a little cabin.
We were on a mountaintop, man.
Down at the bottom. So we just started fishing together and hanging out, and fishing together and hanging out.
And it was a beautiful thing.
It was.
Still is.
Yeah. Fell in love fishing. 6 months into knowing each other, we decided to merge households. You were still uploading the once a month thing, and occasionally we were doing some fishing. So I think I started to appear in videos as his neighbor friend. And he set up the office, and so he would be playing at Pat O'Brien's, I don't know, 4 or 5 times a week. I got bored and went on the Mac, started checking out 30 miles out what he was doing. And I noticed that people were on, I think there was like 300 people on the Facebook and 1,200 on the YouTube channel. And I was like, hey, that channel you have, the people are like talking to you and you're not talking back. And he's like, well, I don't have any time. I started working on it for him. Sometimes the answers would come from me. 2 or 3 months into living out there, we had a discussion about where we were going with the channel. And that's
you said, are you gonna go hardcore music and do that full time, or do you want to do 30 miles out full time? You're gonna have to pick. There's a Y in the road here.
Yeah, because the people were there and they wanted interaction. Now he's up to gigging every night till 2 o'clock in the morning. And so
but then it was time for balance.
And he picked. He picked 30 miles out, but there was a stipulation. He said, if I'm gonna do 30 miles out, we have to move. And we have to move to the coast. And I was like, I just moved from the coast. I don't want to move back to the coast.
In my opinion, there was only one place on the Texas coast to live, and that was Rockport.
Where I was from.
Where she was from. And that was my favorite spot on the Texas coast as far as location.
I was practically almost born there. They were on the way to the hospital, and I was almost born in the car.
It helped really boost the show.
Right, yeah. But I was still working my job. He was doing the 30 miles out full time at that point by himself.
By myself, fishing, filming, editing.
Yeah, and when I was off, I would join him. Like after work, if he would go to the Packery channel with the kayaks.
Yeah, and I started playing locally in Rockport and had a lot of fun with that. Man, they loved the Cajun music there, and I had a lot of fun, people dancing. At that time, YouTube was not as popular, and people couldn't fathom you making a living on YouTube.
No.
So they kept saying, well, you take people fishing. And I said, no.
We were not. Now, this is 2014, and we weren't making a living off of YouTube or the show. You were playing music, and I was still working my job.
It was like, half or something.
But Mr. Passionate, he kept hounding me. I need you to help me with the show. I need you to help me with the show. I need you to go full time with me on the show. I'm of the opinion at that point that you get a career, you work that career, and you retire, and then you enjoy the things after retirement. You don't just dump your job and run off into the sunset fishing with your best friend. That was my vision at that point. And he took them kayaks out and went fishing right in front of the building. And that was kind of it for me. I was like, okay.
That was it.
All right, I'm done. I guess this is over for me. This phase is done. But when you hang out with him too, he tells you things, and you start to navigate life differently. Like, he
tells you things.
I'm being told by bosses that nothing's negotiable. You'll do your job. You'll answer phones. I'm like, but I hang out with this guy that says everything's negotiable. That you don't have to do anything if you don't want to.
This is America, land of the free, man. I take that literal.
I can't work here anymore because, he's over there fishing in front of the building.
Like we just fish and goof off and then we make money. No. There's a lot that goes behind it. I have a lot of mentors. I study Robert Kiyosaki. I flew to New York and saw Trump, Kiyosaki, and Tony Robbins, who were three of my mentors. And I dove deep into Dave Ramsey.
Which is one of the reasons we were able to do this, is because we did do the Dave Ramsey thing and we did get debt free. And that's very important to know, that we didn't just, okay, well, we're done.
This is a long process.
Yeah, it took a while.
Becoming debt-free and building wealth. We watch a lot of Joel Osteen. We watch a lot of Tony Robbins. We listen to a lot of Tony Robbins.
Yes.
We listen to Dave Ramsey, and we pattern ourselves after successful people in that arena.
We were working very, very hard to get to a point where 30 miles out was big enough to where we could make decisions to leave. And we did. We got to a point where even when we were in Rockport, where we took long vacations. We came and did a Florida series, a 3-week Florida series. But that also meant having apparel on the website and a lot of other things. So we were grinders.
We've always been grinding.
We went on the road for a year and sold fish grips nonstop.
So grinding is kind of the fundamental layer, I guess, in all of this deal. No matter what you do, you're grinding. And like when I went to Teresa, I basically said, why are you grinding for and building their company? You're making a salary, but you're also building their company. Come over here, take your salary, and build our company. It's all grinding.
It's just more grinding.
It's more. Yeah, it's more. It's just you're passionate about when it's your baby and you create it, you're more passionate about it.
Here, you don't clock in or clock out. You get up and you grind until you're done. And there's been nights where we've grinded from 7 in the morning to midnight.
But it's fun because it's your passion.
It has had its ups and downs, though. It has not always been easy. We've had our back against the wall, and I'm like, we're out of money. What do we do?
People have been in that position working at a company.
Sure, yeah. I had
companies go under and stuff. Yeah. You got the same ups and downs. You got the same grind, but it's your grind and it's your ups and downs. That's a big difference. And when you're working yourself toward being debt free, You can take big hits in economy or whatever, and because you own everything, you can back off. That's when real estate guys make all their money, is when the economy tanks, they start buying. Work the down has always been a thing in my playbook. Getting your head right with mentors is a big thing.
I never had mentors up until when I met you. Introduced me to all these things that we should be doing and looking into. And so if you can find people that are smarter than you and learn from them, crucial. And it's hard in the beginning, but if you're dedicated to it, the reward comes.
Well, the whole thing's really a reward because you're doing your thing all the time.
We had a bunch of comments, more than we ever expected. We honestly thought maybe Sean Lawless would watch this and maybe a few other people.
After this video, please comment below any questions you would like us to answer for the next Monday.
Yeah.
It was just very helpful having the questions, guys. Please ask away.
Yeah.
All right, so question number 1 was...
do we have any secret spots that we don't like disclosing? Fella from Hawaii, he wanted to know, did we have any spots that we're not willing to share? Because you put everything.
And my mentors teach me about abundance and how scarcity is a lie and that everything's abundant and there's more than enough. It's just some people can't see the matrix. I see the matrix. I'm leaning back right now a little. I see the numbers. So it's hard for me to relate to scarcity, so I share everything. And the more you give, the more you get. That my wealth was based on my contribution. You heard what I just said? Your wealth is based on your contribution, not based on how much you hoard or keep for yourself. Nothing can come to a closed fist. Everything comes to an open hand.
Woo! Dropped the mic. We got a mic drop happening. What made us want to kayak fish and not boat fish? Now, we both come from the boat world. I used to fish with my dad in the boat, and you had a boat. So
I've had probably 9 boats.
Because I'm originally from the surf fishing
boat was an issue.
genre. Boat was not an issue. I grew up surf fishing the coast of Texas with my dad. But his favorite thing was to go to Penn's, set up them surf rods, catch mullet, catch whiting, and rig up for sharks.
I started with small boats, and I got bigger and bigger over the years until I ended up with Blazer Bay 2170 with a 140 on the back, and I rigged it out for offshore, and I did all this stuff. So I worked my way up. Toward the end there, I started kayaks like 20 years ago. Kayaks started hitting the scene a little bit, and I thought, man, that's a great way to get on the water. Super simple. Nobody wants to clean my boat with me. Nobody wants to help split gas. I always need help. I always need people to go with me. But if I had that little plastic thing, I could go every afternoon for no money, for free.
Yeah.
By myself if I want. Oh, that's a I don't even have to hose it off. What? I don't have to flush a motor. Every time something would break on my boat, it was $487.23. I got a couple of used ocean kayaks, and the boats got used less and less, and then became more trouble. And I always tell a story about how I went out in my boat and I caught some kings or something and I came in and tried to go on the flats and it wouldn't run shallow enough. Off the beach in my kayak, and I caught a king, and I went on the flats and killed the redfish. And I was like, the kayak cost me $300 used on Craigslist, and the boat cost $35,000. That boat should have done 35 the times what that kayak did, and that kayak just killed it. So how does that make sense? It didn't make sense to me. So I sold that boat to a guy in Tennessee and met him in Texarkana.
At a loss.
It cost me $6,000 to sell that boat. That was back before I knew to go. That was back before I started buying everything cash and was going on the debt-free route. I actually had notes, which we don't do anymore.
We do not.
Thank you, Dave Ramsey. Amen. Amen.
Hallelujah. What made us move to Florida?
Are we going to answer that right now after all this long rant? Why don't we start the next one?
With why we moved to Florida?
Why we moved to
Because
Florida.
that's-
That's an awkward answer.
It's not why you would think.
No, it's very strange.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks a lot for watching.
Make it happen Monday.
You can make it happen on Tuesday, too. Any day.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see y'all next time right here on Make It Happen Monday. And don't forget the Thursday episodes every Thursday.
At 7 a.m.
Adios, amigos.